And we are back, and the very fabulous Maven, apparently. Maven. That's a very good word. So Nick Tolhurst is here, producer extraordinaire, and our very fabulous Kate, and she's going to tell us all things theatre.
Yeah, not all of them, a couple.
Some of them. A few.
Haven't got them all. But I do have two shows. One is Apologia, which I'll talk about second, which is Nicola Gunn's play at the Malthouse, which is only until tomorrow night. So that's one reason I want to mention it. We'll talk about it. But I want to start with 6, which I don't think you've seen, have you, Nick?
No, I haven't, and I got it confused with something else.
I'm going to see
7?
I'm going to see it, so it better be good.
Oh, it is.
Oh, good.
It is really good. Well, I believe it's really good, and I think you'll really enjoy it.
Well, my husband's a bit fussy, so hopefully he likes it too.
Well, it depends if he likes, poppy girls in wild costumes. But let me explain. So 6, not to be confused with, 7, 8 or 9.
Yes, I got it confused with 9, the Jerry Herman thing.
Oh,
what it was.
Right,
yes.
yeah. Based on the Fellini film. Yeah. Now, this is a musical with the 6 wives of Henry VIII. You remember them by divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. The last one lived. So if you get stuck, that helps. And a couple are better known than others, the wives, and some are completely obscured in history. But this sets the stage ablaze, I have to say. And it did in the previous production 2 years ago. Well, same production, 4 changes in cast. 2 are reprising their roles. It opens with a rocking song called Ex-Wives. I mean, apart from the one that was surviving at the end. It introduces and gives voice to those 6 wives of Henry VIII from that period of, mid 1500s or something, or just before. Proceeds then to reframe and reimagine her story, as they call it, through a 21st century lens that really references modern gender politics, I would say, as well as modern music. So the music draws on Beyonce, Adele, Shakira, Sia, girl groups, that sort of music.
Nothing Tudor about it.
Nothing Tudor about it. And even the costumes are they're garish and wonderful fitting bodices and corsets that reflect that, but they also reflect armour. So they look a bit like they're protective of these women, pants and shirts and
But
blazers.
they're a bit warrior-like as well,
warrior-like
yeah?
as well.
Yeah,
Bit,
cool.
Xena, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's an outstanding and really dynamic production, and the audience on this opening night leapt to its feet as one, and they all dance about at the end. I mean, we were dancing about in our seats. I don't do that often because it finishes with a final mega 6 as opposed to a mega mix. So it's written by a UK duo. I think they were at Cambridge together. Toby Marlowe, who did the music, and Lucy Moss did book lyrics and music, both of them, and fabulous choreography. Fierce direction by Lucy Moss herself, with Jamie Armitage. It is just dynamic. The choreography is really intense and funky, and the set is evocative. The lighting is extraordinary, and the performances and the songs and the expression of these 6 wives is really fascinating, because if you know nothing about them, and a few of them I knew very little about, I knew their names, it gives you a sense of what their story might have been, because some of them are obscured by history, really.
So are they each presented like a tableau sort of thing and lots of dialogue? Or?
They're not dialogue. Bit of dialogue, mostly sung.
Really? Yeah.
So they're talking to each other, and the conceit of the whole thing is they're competing for a popularity contest for who was the most abused and traumatised by Henry. That's really what they're doing. And by the end, when they've all said, like Anne Boleyn says, well, yeah, you suffered and I haven't got a head. So there's a bit of that. 2 of them lost their heads. But Catherine Parr at the end just says, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this game. She's the one who survived. And they all decide that competing for popularity for who had the biggest trauma isn't a really good idea. And so they sing together as a mega mix. And they realise the only reason they're all famous is because of this man. Who can remember the wives of, Henry VI, wife of, what's her name? Somebody.
No idea.
But it's really, really fun. And I'll just say that as Jane Seymour, Lauren Hunter is back, and I think that's a really beautiful ballad with her warm and honeyed tones. It elevates that sort of heartfelt ballad there. A couple of new people, but all particularly terrific. And there's a really marvellous, Georgia Kennedy, who's taken on Catherine Parr, sings I Don't Need Your Love with a vocal run that's really a knockout. Couple of voices that aren't quite as good as the others, but if 2 or 3, probably 4, that are really
So they all triple threat type people?
They are, absolutely. There's lots of dancing. There's a bit of a gag later on where one of them says, and nobody's noticed, or they've all noticed, the audience has all noticed that Anne can't dance, which of course she can, but she's purposely looking a bit, awkward. You don't even realise that that's what she's doing until later. It's so cleverly done. Catherine of Aragon, played by Kimberly Hodgson, sings a thing called No Way at the beginning. That's the first song, because she's the first wife, the one who was divorced. It was fun, electrifying, gets people on its feet, and I don't know, you might love it, Philippa.
Is it kind of touching as well?
It is kind of touching as well. Very beautiful, and talks about the abuse in a way that doesn't just
Not
smack you over the head.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 beheadings, a couple of divorces, and a couple who survive, and some truly appalling things happen to these women. Not just with Henry.
We'll be back in a sec.
Hi, this is Merlin Quay. Melbourne's musical artists are one of our great cultural resources, and 3MBS is an important part of Melbourne's music community. The amazing facility in Abbotsford is a powerful resource for us to record, meet, perform, promote concerts, and be part of a continual celebration of that community of music, both old and new. Every subscription helps keep 3MBS on air. Plus, you support local talent. And if you're tuned in without being a subscriber, well, that's just a little bit naughty. So get on the phone now and call 9416-1035.
Now, before we get back to Kate Herbert, I just want to tell you about a 3MBS Legacy Circle afternoon tea, which will be on the 27th of August. That's a Tuesday at 2 p.m. at the Bishop's Parlour at Abbotsford Convent. So we're asking, has 3MBS made a lasting impact on your life, and have you considered making a lasting gift to 3MBS in your will? If you'd like to learn about how to leave a legacy, you can find out more on making a benevolent pledge so that our future listeners can continue to enjoy the music we broadcast. And you'll be able to meet other passionate music lovers who've made a similar commitment, and a legal representative from KHQ Lawyers will also be present to answer any queries you might have. So to secure your place at the 3MBS Legacy Circle afternoon tea, please RSVP to philanthropy@3mbs.org.au or call 9416 1035. Now, Kate, what else is on your board there?
Oh, on my list, the other thing I saw, which feels like ages ago, only a week, is Apologia, meaning apology, and it's an apology for, I presume, what this little fantasy is that Nicola Gunn has come up with. I don't know have you ever seen any Nicola Gunn work in the past?
No.
I love her. I've always loved her. In one, I sat and taught someone to knit. So she had people doing things and helping each other. Anyway, this is at the Malthouse till tomorrow, as I said. It's always surprising. She's always eccentric and often extremely successful. And this one really does succeed in part, particularly the first half. Comes a bit unstuck at the end from my perspective. So written, performed and directed by Nicola Gunn, a couple of other performers with her. It's a marvellously quirky conceit about her absurd fantasy to be a French actress. Not play the role of, be. I want to be French. Doesn't speak any French, never has done. Says she'll do it phonetically. So the other character on stage at the beginning with her is not a person. It's a speaker on a stand with a French translator speaking through it. It's obviously someone I think it's 100 hours of interviews she's edited to get this character to speak. Séverine Magloire is her name, presented only by a voice and this speaker that you really do start thinking is a human being.
Oh, right.
You hear her go, because she's vaping. That's the first thing you hear. And you go, what is that noise? Yes. But it's all about this. Nicola Gunn has this, as a character, a representation of a French woman in this completely romantic and unrealistic way. And Séverine, the actual French woman, says, no, I'm not like that. I don't like to cook. I like to smoke. I'm not romantic at all.
I want to stay thin.
I just want to, it's what's a Parisian? I don't know. And out comes Nicola Gunn in various sassy, sort of sexy underwear, black lacy things. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. And then she wants to make a film as this French woman. She ends up with perfectly dubbed French. You see her behind a screen. It's rather lovely, this section. The next section is completely dislocated. 2 Japanese tourists, played by Yumi Yumimara, people might know from Melbourne, and Taka Kakiguchi, excuse my pronunciation, sir. They are sitting, speaking in Japanese, surtitled, looking at the spire of Notre Dame and going, this isn't what we expected. And apparently there's a syndrome of Japanese tourists not being happy and feeling, cheated. The last bit I won't even explain. It just is a bit like a...
It sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah. What comes after that is
fun,
sort of like a 70s drama class or something for about 4 minutes, and I don't know why. But it's really... She's fun. She's always eccentric and good fun.
And it's on last night?
Last night, well, tonight and tomorrow. So there might be a matinee today as well, but tomorrow...
Whereabouts?
At the Malthouse.
Kate, thank you very much.
Sure.